Hey you guys, Dev here at WeBuyHouses.com. Welcome to the Cash Offer Masterclass, episode number 83. Today we're looking at this house right here. This beauty is in Stephenville, Texas. It's a double wide manufactured home, and we're going to answer the question today: do investors want double wide homes, and is this double wide a deal? So let's go look at it. First, let me just say right off the bat, generally, investors don't want manufactured homes. Why? Because they're just like, it's like a car sitting on a property. The property could gain value, but the car is going to depreciate. That's exactly what happens with manufactured homes. They tend to depreciate more like a car than appreciate like a house. And what does appreciate is the land itself. And so, whoa, this looks like a pretty good deal because I think it's a good deal because it's in an area with lots of manufactured homes. Therefore, it's the norm out there, and people are buying and selling these things. You have comps and all that kind of stuff. So I think this double wide could be a deal, but we got to get inside of it, look at it, see what the condition is, and determine what you and I would pay for this thing. Let's do that right now. Before we jump in, this is where Stephenville is. It's down south and west of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You can see if you went down 377, you'd go through Granbury. Great little town. Everybody should visit that. You head on down, you get to Stephenville, and when you get out here, what you'll notice about this property is it's up northwest of the main city. In fact, if we were down in the city, you'd see lots of houses and stuff down there. This thing is up 108 to the northwest of Stephenville, but it's in an area that is developed. And this is what I was talking about. You look at this neighborhood right here. This is a neighborhood of manufactured homes. I'll show you what I mean. If I go and I just drop down anywhere around here, I'm going to see manufactured homes. They're all double wides. It's all double wides. That's what's out here. Let me back up a little bit. Here, go back where we were. Back in. I lost my subject property. There she is right there. And if I come over here, I actually can stand right in front of her in all her beautiful glory. There she is. And look, I think that's the same. Yeah, I think it's the same land. Got a little mobile home out there, trailer home. This is the house across the street, which actually, very typical double wide, but it looks very nice and clean. And I want to show you one because we're going to come back and look at it, which is right here. This house right here. This is a nice manufactured home. Notice how the facade is done in such a way that it doesn't look quite like a manufactured home. This is a double wide right here. But it's a very nice place. And we're going to look at that one as a comparison to the one that we're looking at today. All right. So how did I get this deal? This deal came to me from Fazio Real Estate Solutions. They sent me this email about the rare cul-de-sac property in Wild Horse, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, and all that good stuff. There's the address, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. 2128 square feet, which is a pretty good size house. They say the ARV is 240. They're looking for 120. So that's half of the ARV. Now we'll go check to see if that ARV is the same as we would calculate, but that's okay. That's the next step. I haven't looked at the pictures yet. We're going to look at them together, but there's a little bit of a preview of that. Guys, if you have any interest in the property, reach out to Jade Vaughn at 214-646-9646. I have no association with Fazio Real Estate Solutions. I use these emails for educational purposes, but this is a house that's for sale right now, and you can buy it as an investor, as an individual, whatever. Reach out to Jade Vaughn if you have any interest in learning more about the property that we're looking at today. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to validate, is that 240 ARV correct? Now, if we were licensed, we would go do a competitive market analysis and we'd pull recently sold comps and all that stuff. We're not doing that today because you and I aren't licensed here. We're going to go look at public sites. Now, here is the problem that I found with this property. I can't figure out what the public sites think it's worth because they all think it's worth 210 on Zillow. Whoops, I got lost. 210 on Realtor. 210 on Redfin. Why is this? Well, it's because this house is listed. And once a house gets listed, these marketing sites like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor, they will all obliterate their prior estimate or whatever it was and just show the listing price. They don't want to work against the listing agent. Does that make sense? And so everything says 210. I have to go to Property Radar, and in Property Radar, I found that it was 205 in their service. And so that gives us a pretty good idea that, basically 210 on everything, 205 on Property Radar. It's probably around there. But I would say this. The house is listed for 210 in its current condition, and it is not selling. It's been out here for 130 days on Zillow. It's not selling. That's half a year right there. So, well, not quite half a year. But you get the idea. This house is not selling. It's not worth 210. The question is on this one, what is it actually worth? What would somebody pay for this? In order to determine that, we're going to need to get in there. Now, and that's exactly what we're going to do with our pictures. Now, the other thing that's, I think, interesting is I kind of backed off and took a little drive around the neighborhood, looked at the other houses that were available here. I do like the little garage things, and it's pretty cool. And I saw this one. Okay, here's our subject property right there. See it? Right there. That's our subject property. And then if we come right over here, we find this house right here. I think this house is very interesting. It's 190 Paint Court. Here's that house. So I went to look at that house on Zillow. So let's think of this as a comparable house. And here it is. This house at 206 Zestimate. So the Zestimate, they didn't give us a Zestimate on the subject property because it's listed. They wiped out the Zestimate. But I go across the street and I see this house. It looks pretty nice. And the Zestimate is 206. I think this is the comp for the ARV for the property that we're looking at. This property could be worth around 206. So again, this isn't the house that we're looking to buy. This is the one across the street and a little bit over. And this is classic double wide living. It's not bad, to be honest. I'd live in a double wide. I'm not that proud. It's on the right lot, in the right place. It'd be great to have one of these things. Now, one thing you do see is that they're shaped like this. So you'll always kind of see like a wall that's sloping off, like that one right there. And they're built with panels. So instead of like sheetrock that's then finished, taped and bedded and then textured, they don't do that. The walls are built with these panels. They're kind of like vinyl panels or something like that. So, but my point is, this is what the house that we're going to look at could be. And so I'm not going to spend much time in here, but I'm just going to show you. It's a nice house. It's a nice place. Yeah, looks perfectly fine. Definitely looks like a manufactured home, as you see this seams with a little molding across them. This looks very manly. That leathery looking bathroom. And again, you see what I'm talking about with that kind of the sloped thing. Wait, it would be sloped like I can't make the slope. It's sloped like that. That right there. All the walls are sloped. The whole house is like this from the center. It's all right. But this is manufactured home living. You get that kind of slope and you get the seams. And you get like these weird kind of it's like wallpaper, but similar to wallpaper on there, seams. See the seams. Yeah. This house is not bad, but this house is not the one we're looking at. The one we're looking at is over here. And so what we're going to do now, I think that is what it could be worth. It could be worth 206 or so. In fact, I might even go 97. 206 is where I'm going to go. I think that's what this house could be worth, just based on looking at the houses around it. And the point I was making is that once it's listed, this information means absolutely nothing. It just means nothing. They're just showing you the listing price. The listing price could be crazy high, and Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor would show it. Not my property radar, and not just the estimate of looking around at other houses nearby. We're going to be at $97 a square foot on this house, which means in perfect condition, if it needed no repairs, we could pay $145,000 for the house. They want what? $119. That's not bad. That gives us about, what is that, $25,000 of repair budget. Let's go see what this house needs and see what we could pay for it out there in Stephenville, Texas. Now, as usual, we jump into the pictures, and we're just going to jump into wherever the pictures start. So now we're inside our subject property, and we see, again, manufactured home and the seams and the panels and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't look bad. The bathtub doesn't look too shabby. Looks pretty good. I do not love this wall surface. Honestly, man, I feel like I would go into something like this and just paint it. If you just painted it, it wouldn't look so manufactured, so kind of artificial. Now, we're in one of the rooms in the house. Doesn't look like a bedroom. Might be a front room, like a living area. And we definitely see stains on the floor, and I don't know if that's coming from the ceiling or what. What has happened here that caused this? It's basically just a box sitting on the property. So I wonder what has happened to cause those issues. Here we just see some really bad, ugly old carpet. That's nice. Always nice to keep one of these around in case you need to move something heavy. I think that's a refrigerator. This house confuses me. But yeah, it looks pretty rough, in pretty rough condition. Looking at what appears to be a front door, might be a back door. We got a panel right there. It might be the back door. I think this might come into the kitchen. So I think this might be a back door. I do not like that that stuff on the walls. Yeah, I don't care for that at all. I would just paint that. I don't know why you would keep that. Sorry, guys, I'm getting choked up. As we look at the kitchen, flooring looks okay. Can't see much about appliances, but they look all right. It's that manufactured property, wall covering that they have on it. All around here. Yeah, I hate that stuff. I just hate it. I want to get rid of that. I would just paint that. Pretty sure you can just go into manufactured home and paint this stuff. Well, it's Christmas time there, and that doesn't do us any good. All right, see, like that. That room looks much better. It doesn't feel as manufactured in there, and that's one of the reasons is because it doesn't have that silly print on the wall, and I'm not noticing the strips as much. That's interesting. Kind of wonder if they might have come in here and removed the strips and taped embedded it and done a wall. Because I don't see, this doesn't look like a manufactured home to me. And the reason being that I don't see the seams in the wall panels. Interesting. Floor looks okay. It's probably not great. We're back to that weird wall covering that's on all the manufactured walls. There's a toilet that may need some work, at least needs a back on it. How do you lose that part? Here again, we're looking at, I think this was a painted room and it's kind of dirty. Still see the seams of the wall panels, but again, it's full cosmetic. Looking outside now, it's got a nice little back porch extension on it. This is cool. It looks steel. I like that a lot. What that's made out of looks like a steel top, steel poles. I like that. I think that might be sturdier than the house itself. All right, we're back in the house, in a bathroom. More of that gross wall covering. Just screams manufactured house, right? This is from 2006. The guy never changed it. It's not bad. Here again, this is something you see in the manufactured homes, that the quality of the construction is not quite up to par with a regular, single family home. And you'll see stuff like this quite often on the corners, that things will pop off. Nobody fixed it. Could have easily put that back at the time. They probably lost that piece, and it'd be super hard to repair that now without it. Yeah, pretty typical. 2 sinks right next to each other. The cabinetry is okay. It's okay. It's definitely builder's grade, if you will. Just looking into this hallway space, we're just seeing those seams that you see from the manufactured home. And can't really tell what that is, but I think that might be mechanical or something. There's a cover to something right there. Could I see? Nope. Back in the bathroom, now in the laundry room. Yeah, I can tell basically this house needs full cosmetic. The carpet is torn up. Y'all see that down there? Whoops. Down there in the bottom of that picture. Carpet's all torn up. So it needs all the flooring. Needs full paint. Here's a nice thing about double wide is that if you've ever been in a mobile home, you don't get this kind of living space in a typical single mobile home. But in a double wide, you get quite a bit of living space. It can feel pretty much like a normal house to you, and very livable. And here we are in the kitchen. Got a double level island thing there. Pretty interesting. Dishwasher in it, which means it's plumb. Now we're in a closet. We jumped over. Hate those walls. Hate those walls. I want to buy this house just to go in there and replace all those walls because they bother me. They should have been redone a long time ago. Here, yeah, we can see again on the floor. They have torn up the carpet, left the pad for whatever reason. Maybe walked around on the pad for a little while. I don't know. Something happened in here, and it was not good. All right, we're in another bathroom. It has 2 bathrooms. This is the second one. Maybe we'll see in the shower. It just looks very low grade, very builder's grade, and so much of the original walls are still there. So look, okay, back on this thing. We think that the after repaired value of this house is $206,000. The question is, what needs to be done to it? It needs a full cosmetic. That's $21,000. And I'm going to go ahead and say it needs, if I went one general repairs, that's pretty heavy. The house looked like it had been recently lived in. I just need some general repairs to fix the things that are not the cosmetic things, but the things like, we find that the plumbing needs work and all that kind of stuff. So basically, I think we're, going to walk into this house saying we need at least $30,000 to fix it up, make it look nice, and get it back to the 206. And so now there's other areas that this house may need significant repairs. I don't know yet. I call them the big 5. It's electrical, plumbing, HVAC, foundation, and roof. Now, as we looked at the email that came from the wholesaler, they said no known issues on any of these things, that they're all in great shape. We're going to believe the wholesaler right now. We're going to say, okay, so I think the house just needs about $30,000 in cosmetic repair and a little bit of fixing some things up that are found along the way. If we were to inspect this house and we found that it did need a roof, it did need full HVAC or whatever might be required, that would obviously significantly change the offer that we would make on the house. But if it was just the cosmetic work, we feel like it's around $28,000. So what does that tell us? Let's look at our calculation. When we compute what we can pay for a house, the calculation for a real estate investor is very simple. It's after repaired value times 70% minus the repairs equals the cash offer that we can offer. So let's look. $206,000 is our after repaired value times 70% takes us to $144, minus our repairs of $27, about $28,000, takes us to an offer of $116,827. Where are they? They're at $119. We are very close to what I think this house is worth. Now, do I like this house as a real estate investor? No, I really don't. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a manufactured home. Manufactured homes just don't sell as well. They don't appreciate as well as a regular single-family home built on a slab or pier and beam foundation. These houses could literally be wheeled off that lot in a moment's notice. And so they don't get the same appreciation that a normal house would. So I don't like them for that reason. I do like this one a little bit because it's in a neighborhood of homes like this. Like if I go back down into it, there's a number of houses in this area that are manufactured homes. So it makes sense there. And there will be comparable sales around there that we can look at. That's probably around $200,000 on the nice ones. So tells us everything we need to know that this is, it's a resellable property in a decent location. Stephenville is a nice town. And I don't know if I showed you guys, but right across the street, like this is called Wild Horse Lane, and that's where all the manufactured stuff is. If you go right across the street onto Walking Horse Lane, you're going to find that over here you got really nice homes in that community or that neighborhood right there. So it's not a bad area. It's not like, people with nice homes live out there in this area. There's nothing wrong with it. I just think basically this house, the ARV was a little optimistic from the wholesaler at $240, but that doesn't really matter. We're just looking at what they want for it, which is $119. So we came up with a $206 after repaired value and a $116 cash price for the house. Yeah, look, if you're buying properties in Stephenville and maybe you're looking for a rental, this would be probably a really nice rental for somebody. 2,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, good size for the family. So yeah, dude, I think it could be a nice house for somebody. I don't want manufactured houses. I think the other thing I was going to mention to you guys that bothered me about this one is it's not really in town. Like when we went and looked at it, it's up here north of the city where, I would really be more attracted to these houses down here, like in the city. Let's just go drop in on the street, like right here. Yeah. Stephenville. That's what I think of when I think of Stephenville. It's a cool little town. I really like it. And it's got lots of nice houses. Yeah. Like these would be great houses, great investment properties, rentals, that kind of thing. So love this city. Don't necessarily love the location. Don't love at all the type of home it is. But at $116, is it a deal? Yeah, I think it's a deal. Would they take 116? I think they would, right? This house is listed. Remember, it's listed at 210. These guys went and got it under contract for maybe 100,000, less than that, and they're offering it to us for 120. I think this house is worth 116. That's what I would pay for it, and I think it would be a pretty good deal, even though I don't want to be out in the middle of nowhere in Stephenville in a manufactured house. I think this is a pretty good deal right here. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hey, I just want to remind you, if you have a house for sale, maybe you have a house that needs a lot of repairs, you don't want to fix it up, go to WeBuyHouses.com and put the property in, hit let's go, answer a few questions. One of my top tier professional real estate investors will reach out to you, and they'll pay the best they can for your house, the most fair value, and they are dependable, that you can trust the people that you meet through WeBuyHouses.com. If you just go into the internet and just say, sell my house fast, bro, I don't know who you're going to connect with. It could be anybody. It could be somebody who just went to a hotel seminar and got a Google Ads account, and now there you are. Now you're dealing with those people. So now you want to deal with professionals if you're going to sell your house fast for cash. And the way you find a professional, you go to WeBuyHouses.com, fill out the form, and we will hook you up. Guys, it's been a great time today to spend a little moment with you and talk about, is this double wide a deal? I think it is. I think overall, the double wide is a deal. Guys, take care. Have a wonderful day. See you on Thursday.